This short video is about maintaining the ambient temp sensor and shield on the RAAS FRM sampler. It also describes the proper orienting of two other temp sensors in the sampler. There are two major considerations related to the ambient temp sensor. The first is cleanliness of the plastic plates that form the shield. If the plates are dirty after exposure to the elements, they can negatively influence ambient temperature measurement. The second consideration is making sure the thermocouple wire mounted inside the shield is oriented so that the thermocouple doesn't touch any part of the shield. If the thermocouple sensor touches any object, then it will be influenced by the temperature of that object and will give an incorrect indication of ambient air temperature. The technician will disassemble the shield, clean the parts, and verify the proper orientation of the thermocouple wire. A 3/8 inch nut driver is an excellent tool to loosen the three long screws holding the shield together. These screws are already loosened, so the hand model can complete the task of unscrewing them. An O-ring on each screw provides sufficient friction so the screws can remain in place while the shield is serviced. The hand model shows that the stacked plates simply lift away. See how dirty the top surfaces of the plates became after exposure to the elements? A temperature shield in this condition doesn't conform to the high standards to which DACM monitoring technicians can proudly hold themselves. And look at this! The hand model discovers that the thermocouple wire is indeed bent and almost certainly caused the thermocouple to touch one of the plates of the shield. Good job, hand model. The ultimate reason for this maintenance effort is that the sampler is designed to maintain the temperature near the sample filter and at another location inside the enclosure to within 5 degrees C of ambient temp. This particular sampler recently reported excessive differences between those two locations and the ambient temperature. You can see by the playful fondling of the thermocouple wire that the hand model is delighted to find the possible source of the error. The technician cleaned the base of the shield and straightened the thermocouple wire so that the sensor will not touch any of the plates when the shield is reassembled. With the shield now partially assembled, you can see the wire extending straight up through the center of the shield. The maintenance information provided in this short video came from an official source, a supplement to the operator manual. Technical Bulletin number 2 of 32 is that source. In addition to describing the proper orientation of the ambient temp sensor, that technical bulletin describes the proper orientation of two other sensors located inside the sampler enclosure. This video doesn't show the proper orientation of the filter temp sensor, but the thermocouple should not touch any surfaces. It's easy to check it when no filter is loaded in the sampler. Here you see the proper orientation of the inactive temp sensor. The wire simply extends away from the surfaces so that the thermocouple touches only air. The 32 technical bulletins provide information about problems an FRM operator may encounter. They also provide a glimpse of the innovations incorporated over the years as technology advanced and operational improvements were made for the customer. Some of the bulletins are real page turners. These plates of a shield came from another sampler. The technician cleaned them with Windex, but that wasn't sufficient to clean a hardened scale buildup that probably came from sprinkler water. The scale even defied one of those green scrub pads. The technician ended up removing the unsightly buildup by scraping it off with a knife. That technique was very successful and resulted in the pristine appearance seen here. Here is the completely rebuilt sensor shield. Imagine the improved performance with the thermocouple wire properly oriented inside it. It's a dramatic improvement over the heavily soiled plates of the old shield. This technician can be proud of meeting the high DACM standards. Here's another FRM sampler with the sensor shield disassembled. The hand model is aghast at the scene. The plates of this shield are even dirtier than those from the other one. And the thermocouple wire is at a more awkward angle. This situation doesn't meet DACM standards at all. Notice that the hand model slinked out of sight from embarrassment. After recovering his composure, the hand model returns to point out a further deficiency with this sensor. According to Technical Bulletin Number 2, not only must the thermocouple be exposed only to ambient air and not touching an object, but the wire should extend up into the shield between 2.5 and 3 inches, measured from the securing clamp underneath. If you look carefully, you will see that this wire extends significantly more than 3 inches. In the final dramatic scene, you will see the wire at the correct length above the clamp and bent to a perfectly vertical stance. The hand model shows that the correct wire height is also 1 1/4 inches above the base plate.